52 Traders, episode 125.
Think about the process of what you're doing. The winners, the money will take care of itself.
Join Cam every week on the 52 Traders podcast or at 52traders.com to learn how to trade like the pros. This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is not investment, trading, or financial advice of any kind.
What's up, traders? Welcome to another installment of the 52 Traders podcast. I'm your host, Cam Hawkins, and today we have Charlie Burton on the show of Easy Trader. Now, look, before we get into the details of the show, I want to give you guys a quick update on how things are going over here in the New Zealand summer. Well, I'm not just going to give you an update on that. I'm also going to talk about my trading as well during this summer. So we're having a fantastic summer here. Been to the beach so many times, I can't even tell you how many. My kids actually got boogie boards for the first time. Boogie boards are little sort of flat boards, if you don't know what they are, that you can go surfing on the waves in. Oh my word! I didn't realise it was going to be that was going to be it. That was the turning point for them. They had one go on boogie boards and a little bit of surf, which was actually quite good, and they're hooked every single day of the week. When I was off work, I was getting, "Dad, can we go to the beach?" And I'm like, "It's 5 o'clock, guys. It's dinner time, and it's raining. Why do you want to go to the beach?" "We want to do boogie boarding." Like the turning point was there. They just had this sort of moment where if they caught a couple of waves, and all of a sudden they were hooked. Now, I want to sort of bring that back onto my trading, right? So I sort of had that turning point, I feel, about, actually, was it this week? No, it would have been, yes, it was this week. It was the beginning of this week. It was a Monday morning. I woke up and I've been trying to do all this sort of, get myself on the right headspace for the day. I'd been trading the full week, the prior week, because I really wanted to get into it and give it more attention and more time, because I had the time and had the chance to give it the attention. Even though it was middle of school holidays and I had kids all around me and stuff, I still had a bit of time to give it the attention. In fact, one of the things I did during that time was I sat down at the computer and watched the chart for a whole day. I literally watched every single bar, every single price tick go up and down for a whole day, just to drill stuff into my head around this price action trading, which is what I'm focusing on with Andre. And did it help? I don't know. I mean, I took a couple of trades. I can't recall if I won them or lost them. I think overall I was down for that particular day that I did that. But it was a learning process, right? It was a learning process. And so anyway, so I'd been trading the week before, and I've got to say, I started the week off and I said to Andre Stewart, if you don't know who it is, it's episode 88, go and listen to him. He's mentoring me and a whole bunch of other guys doing great job, a fantastic job. And I said to him, this week is the week that I'm going to come out and profit. And I said, profit. And he's like, no. Process. It's about the process. You've got to focus on the process, not the profit. And I'm like, I thought I was focusing on the process. And I obviously thought I was focusing on the process, but I was telling myself, obviously, but subconsciously, I was obviously focused on the profit, right? Because I was saying profit. Anyway, that sort of was a little bit of a start of the turning point. The second turning point was the Monday morning. And I don't know, I got up and I thought, let's just go back to something that I felt was mine. Something I felt was mine as part of the coaching that I'd had from Andre, all the information he'd given me, all the information that I'd learnt through him, and just something that I felt was mine, something I felt I'd come up with, and I just started doing it on the charts. And it was just basically drawing lines in a certain way. And nobody else was doing it, and I thought, I'm just going to try this out. And I had a look. And all of a sudden, I'm like, hang on a sec, I can see a bit of a pattern here. I can see an opportunity here for entries. And I kept working on it. I worked on it all day, and I made notes upon notes. And by the end of the day, I felt so much more confident about actually getting in. Where do I get in? I felt so much more confident. So I gave it a whirl that night, And I think the first few trades I jumped in because I was too excited, so they were losers. But then all of a sudden I got a winner, and I got a good winner. I mean, I got a great winner in terms of risk to reward was unreal. It was like 1 to 15 or something. Okay, it was stupid. And then I did it again the next night, and I did it again the next night, and I've done it every night this week. Unfortunately, I've also done all the crap trades as well. So I've also done all the trades that I shouldn't be entering, and they've brought the account balance down. So I'm sort of, hovering between losing days, breaking evens, and some small profits on days. But the signs are there, guys. So I'll keep you posted. We'll do an update show soon and get you guys fully into the detail of what exactly I'm doing. But I just wanted to let you know there's a bit of a turning point here, and hopefully what you hear today in this interview with Charlie Burton from Easy Trader, who was also featured on the BBC, will help you guys get to that turning point as well. So what are you guys going to learn from Charlie today? Well, basically, we talk about how you can adapt to constantly changing markets. We also talk about what makes swing trading the best type of trading for people that day job, how you can get big risk to reward ratio trades. We also talk about the importance of use of fundamental and technical analysis in conjunction, and Charlie shares with us his own strategy and a whole bunch of other insight. Okay, so this interview goes on for about an hour, and it is packed full of knowledge. Guy who's been doing it for 20 years is just about to share it with you. Now, if you do want to hear the full thing, then jump onto 52traders.com/pro, and you'll get access to not just this, but I'm throwing in all the other interviews that I've recorded with these guys that are trading the markets for a living. There's over 100 of them now. I'm chucking it in for $5, or you can get all of it for $5. It's an absolute steal. We also actually even talk about trading cryptocurrencies in this particular interview and in others as well. So that thing's hot as can be. So if you do want to know anything about that, then listen to these interviews, guys, because it's going to help you trading pretty much any instrument you're looking to trade. So it's only $5. Jump over there, 52traders.com. If you've got any questions, then there's frequently asked questions there, or you can flick me an email and I'm happy to answer. Okay, so without further ado, let's get on with the show. All right, folks, so we've got Charlie Burton here from Easy Trader. Is it Easy Trader or Easy Trading?
It is Easy Trader, yeah.
Easy Trader.
Yes, yeah, over here in the UK.
Brilliant. So over there in the UK, now we've had a bit of a chat before the interview here, and you're a bit of a rugby fan, based out of somewhere outside of Reading, near a war base or an old war base or whatever it is.
Yep.
So I don't know what else you sort of get on with in your sort of day-to-day life outside of trading. So do you want to give the listeners a bit of an overview as to what your typical sort of week looks like?
Yeah, sure. I've been trading 20 years. We'll go through that, I'm sure, as we go through the interview. But the sort of typical week. Actually, my typical week now, today in 2018, is slightly different to how it was even 2 years or so ago, because as you know, Cam, the markets are always adjusting and changing, and I feel that since the Swiss National Bank crisis that we had, 3 years ago now? I think it was January of 2015. That changed the markets, because I'm an FX trader, and it changed the FX markets to a certain extent, in that a lot of the big players got burnt, a lot of the liquidity providers got burnt, and obviously, as you know, it hit some of the brokers as well. And so what we've seen is the average ranges of a lot of the currencies have come down since then. If I take the euro dollar, which is a favoured, the most liquid currency pair out there, the average range has really fallen. So how I used to trade even 2 years ago on a day-to-day basis is different to how I trade now. So don't get me wrong, there's still plenty of opportunities to day trade, but I attack the market slightly differently these days to how I did. So I tend to look at slightly higher time frames more and more. I was always a swing trader, but I tend to be doing more and more swing trading now and holding positions rather than being in and out and thinking, right, I've got to be in front of my of my screens at 7:30 a.m. ready to trade by that London time, that is. and because there's a load of liquidity coming in, a load of volume coming in, and yes, we still have volume coming in at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, but it doesn't. The markets don't always move in the same way as they used to. So my average week is slightly different. So I'm not. It's not like imperative for me to be glued to my screens at 7:30 in the morning anymore. And so my trading has sort of adapted with the markets. And so currently, with the markets the FX markets not being overly volatile, my trading has reflected that. So therefore, I trade at a much more steadier sort of pace, and it sits around my lifestyle. So I'm sitting here talking to you right now in my gym kit because I'll be heading off to the gym after we've done this call.
And so what sort of floats your boat other than rugby that we had a chat about? So the gym, what else do you do? Have you got
I'm off skiing next week, so it's ski season obviously for us here in Europe. So I'm off out to Austria on Saturday. That is for a week, and then I'll probably go again maybe in March for some nicer weather skiing. They've had a huge amount of snow this winter, but yeah, I like going out running. I used to do karate, so I was big into martial arts. I did that for 20 years. Used to compete for England back in the late 90s, early 2000s. So, but unfortunately, back problem forced me out. So I stopped karate about 10 years ago now when I was about 35, which was a shame because I always saw my martial arts as being something that I would walk along with me in life, all the way through. Because it was, for me, although I competed, it was very much a philosophical thing as well. You're studying something which is 700 years old. And so I loved the history of it and learning all of the philosophical side of the martial arts. And so it was a shame that I had to stop 10 years ago. So it was a bit of a void after I quit. But I've always had to go to the gym because of my back and keep my back strong and the core strong and all of that. But yeah, a bit of CrossFit now as well these days. So yeah, just generally staying active. Yeah, active sort of stuff.
I've always actually wanted to get into martial arts, but I've never done it in my whole life. I can't believe it. I've actually never done it, but I've always had this thought that I want to get into it. I did a Muay Thai 1 hour. It was a 2-hour session when I was in Thailand a couple of years ago. It was with like a guy who was, an ex-national champion Thailand, and we're at this sports resort, and I thought, I'll book it in and do it. And I was, funnily enough, I was doing CrossFit at the time, and I thought, here we go, this should be a bit of fun. I'm fit. I feel like I'm fit enough to do it, and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Honestly, I had to. It was a 2-hour session. I said to the guy after an hour, I said, "I'm sorry, mate, I can't do it anymore." My legs were almost bleeding, because he was making me kick this thing with my shins, this bag, and I like this, weren't used to it, and then he said just do a warm up. So I started doing this warm up, but it was with a skipping rope that he had like a big plastic tubing around it, like a solid thick plastic tubing around the skipping rope. So it was like throwing a sort of, I suppose, a lead weight around your body, and I did it for like 10, 20 seconds, and he's like, why have you stopped? I'm like, I'm in agony, mate. I can hardly hold the rope anymore. He's like, no. He goes, you got 4 minutes of this. I'm like, no way. I can't do 4 minutes. Anyway, long story short, that was the end of it. That was the end of my Muay Thai career. But what would be your advice for someone who's like over the age of 40 to get into martial arts?
Well, blimey. Just seek a good instructor. I think it doesn't really matter what martial art you do. I mean, there's 1,000,001 different styles of martial arts these days. So even when I started in the late 80s, there wasn't as many. You had karate, you had kickboxing, and you had a few others, and that was about it. And now there's so many different styles of karate and blends of everything. So, but the main thing is, it doesn't really matter what the style is that you choose, whether it's a Japanese type of martial art or whether it's Chinese or whatever. The main thing is that you find a good instructor, and so it's just a case of looking around and getting some recommendations, really. And if you go to a class where there's 100 people in a class, then it's probably what I would call a commercial club, which is fine. But that and that's fine. But that usually, if they're in it to make money and they've got lots and lots of people training there, it means that the actual content is watered down.
Right.
Because most people that do it don't want to get hurt. so if you've got lots of, if you've got a big club with lots of children and stuff, obviously they can't allow children to get hurt, and lots of adults as well. I used to train at a club where there used to be 6 of us, and we used to come out with, broken noses and black eyes almost every week. Now, the average person's not going to want to go to a club like that. That instructor that was a bit of an extreme, a bit like your Muay Thai guy.
Yeah.
Because the average person isn't going to want to get hurt like that every week. So it's a case of just finding a nice balance, really, finding a good club, a good instructor where maybe it's not too commercial, but because otherwise you're just learning something which is really watered down and it's not that realistic. And so that's all I could recommend, really. It's all about the instructor, not about the style.
That's quite good advice. I actually might do something about it. I finally might do something about it with that advice. Right, let's get back to trading. So I see you've been on the BBC, and there's been a little bit of a TV series about what, your trading life and what you do. Do you want to give us a quick sort of behind-the-scenes view of what that was like?
Yeah, it was.
All right, folks, hope you enjoyed that sneak peek of the full hour-long interview with Charlie Burton. Now, at the end of the show, he does reveal a trading strategy that you guys can try it at home. So if you do want to check this out, then there's a link in the description of this show on your mobile phone app, or you can jump onto 52traders.com/pro and get access. It's only $5 for the full interview, and I throw in all the other interviews I've done, and you get full access to them for 30 days, where you can listen to them to your heart's content, come away with all that knowledge in your mind. You've sucked it in, you've soaked it up, you've sucked it in, and you can use that for your trading benefit for just $5. And there's over 100 traders on there now, guys, so you've got a wealth of knowledge to go through and educate yourself on. So jump over there, 52traders.com/pro. Now, next thing, if you do want more trading content, if you do like this show, if you want to hear some more of the show, and I've got this other thing called Trading Mentors Match Off, where I've got 3 Forex trading mentors trading up 3 struggling traders, and we follow them over the course of about 6 or 7 months now. And we've got the final episode coming up in a few weeks' time. But if you jump on now, you're going to get it at the current price. And you're going to get 21 episodes to keep your company in the car. It's packed full of value. It'll keep you out of some of the trading scams out there. Some of those people who are scamming people, we mention them in this show. You'll find out different strategies people are using. You'll find out more detail around some of these trading mentors and how they do what they do, and then also lessons learned from these traders, which will help your trading, because it's helped mine as well. All right, folks. Last but not least, if you do want to automate any of your trading, then jump over to my other site, automatemytrading.com, and you can see me build a trading robot in less than 5 minutes, and you can actually take it away with you. Okay, I actually show you how you do it so that you guys have the skills to build that trading robot. Jump over there, automatemytrading.com. All right, I think that's it until next week, where we've got a celebrity guest coming on the show. Okay, celebrity trader. This guy is on the TV internationally, so I think the majority of countries around the world will probably, or English-speaking countries, will probably have this guy on his TV set at least once a week, and he's a trader, and he's a very good trader. So guys, keep an ear to the ground for that. Until next time, I hope your week goes really well and you have a great trading week. Signing off.